You're here from the Tokyo real estate man. I don't know if this is a really accurate way to start this today, but this is Motomachi in Yokohama. We're going to look at some stuff in sort of southern Yokohama and the Yokosuka area. But I've been here many times. As I said in previous videos, I've worked in Yokohama for about 10 years, so I know it really well. And I worked actually in the Japanese wedding business for a long time. So I've been really so many places in Japan just from working the weekends in the wedding business, whether that's business hotels or just coming here doing a couple weddings during the day on Saturday and Sunday. So I had a lot of chance to discover a lot of Japan in the spare time I had. The way the wedding business works is usually have a wedding in the morning around 10:30, and then you'll have another one around 3:30 at the end of the day. And then I had about 3 or 4 hours to just walk around wherever I was working. And this is a place called Motomachi, which is really a stylish sort of place in Yokohama. It's indicated here. It says stylish shopping in Motomachi. There's a lot of brand places, but you can see here, like, this is a chain 10, and then there's a HAC drugstore. So like there's a lot of, like, chain 10 is like the chain stores in Japan. So it's stylish, but there's a lots of everyday stuff here. It says there's cozy cafes and stuff like that, but there's really everything. And then I was just trying to look for something. We're going to look at some stuff in the Negishi area of Yokohama and more toward the Yokosuka area. But this is sort of in terms of social media, this is something that's sort of close to where it is, that's a little bit more covered in social media. So the places that we're going to look at are maybe a little bit less popular, for example. Anyway, I'm going to come here. We'll come here to the master map, and this is the master map here. I'll back it up here a little bit to see some of the stuff that we're going to look at here today. And excuse me. This is Negishi Bay. This is all here in Yokohama. It's a very huge port. This is not Naka Ward or Nakaku. This is the kind of Chinatown area. So we're kind of looking over here in Minami Ward and stuff like that. And we're looking at some sort of cheaper properties here in this area. But we're also going to look at some stuff. There's a couple of cheap properties here that we could look at that were down here more Yokosuka way, and Yokosuka is down here. So many people here of this channel, or your Japan heads that follow this channel, will know Yokosuka because that's where the American military base is, or the naval base is there in Yokosuka. Anyway, this is kind of the area that we're looking here. The first sort of sample is a really cheap one. I found two really cheap ones, and like one more of a standard one in the Japanese marketplace. Anyhow, everything that we do on this channel is just a conversation about Japanese real estate, or Tokyo real estate, Tokyo region real estate. So it's just a discussion, and by looking at different sort of levels in the price, in terms of price and geography and stuff like that, we can come up with an idea about the market. For me, it's really interesting. Anyhow, the first property that we'll look at here today is in Yokosuka, and I've already fired the map up here and looking at some of this stuff in detail. And this is the house here, and you can see it's for 480 mon. I don't even know how to do the calculation for this. This number's so slow, slow. Maybe 30,000 US dollars, for example. And this here is in Yokosuka. You'll see right there Yokosuka-shi, which is, and this is called, I think, I'm going to guess Uragocho. I'm probably getting it wrong, and it's on the KQ Kamata Eki, or is the closest one apparently. And we're obviously, this is the very bottom of the marketplace. We'll come back here to the Madore, 2-level wooden house, looks to be built in the 1970s. And yeah, it truly is the bottom of the market, but it's a nice price. It's a nice price. It's an old house. I mean, it's selling basically at garbage value. And when we look here at some of the details of the geography where it sits, certainly a unit bath that was updated at some time, and a newer toilet at one point. When we look at the geography, in some ways this price really does indicate it, that it's actually, in a way, junk geography as well. And maybe like during the bubble years when Japan's population was expanding and there was a shortage of housing and stuff like this, this kind of house was popular, and it was built because of the necessity to build housing in the land where the economy was firing along in the bubble time. But now, as the population is going down, these sort of properties in the sort of maybe weaker geography are really becoming garbage in some ways as well. Here we'll look at briefly I'm going to try to fire through these things if I can. 18 minutes from the station here. What I'm going to guess, KQ Kamaura, maybe Kamaura Eki, 18 minutes. Okay, and this house at this price has no parking, and it is, of course, though, ownership, and you can see here there's no parking. One of the interesting things here about this one particular property is there's 135 meters of private drive, and the private drive space is owned by 9 other houses, and this particular house owns 1/9 of that land. So there's 126 meters in land in total, and 73 meters in terms of living space here in this building. Ownership right there. Of course, I think this is going to be IKEA. Yeah, this is totally an IKEA, meaning that there's no one living in the space. And coming up here to the detailed geography here, this is where it sits. This is the top of an escarpment, so it's coming up from the ocean on the top of an escarpment right here, and it's sitting in this cluster of homes captured in between them. But you can see, though, this is a popular suburban area. That's as close as I can get you. I can't get you any closer in that it is captured, and Google Maps just can't get in any closer to this. And there's some sort of institute here. It's not saying, it might be a military or something, but there's some sort of institute here. I was able to come in here and see that there is a lot of parking lots and some totally I'm speculating that this is all sort of a military sort of base or institute of some sort, but you can see that in terms of right in front of this house, it's pretty hard to use or inaccessible in some ways, and you can see that this whole concrete wall has been built up. However, I did think that you could use this house really well from the back side, but there is no parking. And I would say, in some ways, I think that this house, I would say, like you'd say in Japanese, is out, or it's just out. I would just push this one aside because there's some better samples to look at. Anyhow, that's the really bottom of the market, and it's still a really good deal for $30,000 US that you could buy a house here in Yokohama, or Yokose, excuse me, for that kind of money. Now, I did find for the same price, okay, I did find a better position one in southern Yokohama, and we'll move next to that listing. And this is the listing right here. We saw that the one we looked at earlier was down here in the Yokosuka area. This is more positioned at the same price, closer to Yokohama. We'll come up here to the top of the listing here, and you'll see that this one is 480 mon, same price. So very bottom of the market. So again, we have garbage pricing. So we know already at garbage pricing that this house is not going to have parking. It's pretty well going to be in a cluster of homes, but there was some positive stuff that I saw about it. And let's just look at it. It's a discussion. Let's talk about it. Maybe there's someone who wants to have a bargain place in Yokohama. This is a bargain place in Yokohama right there. Okay. There's 2 doors here. It looks like. I don't think it's connected housing. I think it's separate housing, and that house is separate from this one. And here's the Genkan right there as you come into the house. Right there, it's just a plain Jane house. There's nothing going to be anything special about it. There's no hardwood flooring. It looks to be like just, excuse me, carpeting everywhere here. And I don't know if there's any, this is all we have for the pictures. There's not a broad sample of pictures. It's the very bottom of the market. The real estate people came in and they took a picture, and this is the house. Okay, so it's a simple, there's nothing else to it. There's a living room with a kitchen, I guess, downstairs, and then there's a bedroom and a separate room upstairs. And come here to the the details of the listing. This is Isogo Eki, 21 minutes from it. There's no parking, so there is a sort of distance away. There's 6 minutes away from the bus stop, and then you could use the bus to bring you to the station. Electronic bike, as I always talk about, would break the geography of this down. 480 mon, 480 mon. All the systems, though, in the house are working. It is on Toshiga, so we know that it is fairly located fairly centrally. 136 meters of land in the lot, not bad. 59 meters of land or a space in the turtle. So not really efficiently used all that well. No parking, of course. Shoryuken, which is ownership. It is a wooden house, 2 stories. And what else is there to say? It says it's actually in an area of it's technically speaking, it says it's like in a forested mountainous area, but it's not. It's in here in Negishi. We'll come here to the map and look at the details of it when we come in closer to it. Currently vacant, meaning Akia. Bottom of the market, garbage, geography, garbage, house. But we're coming closer so we can see a little bit about it. But the sort of macro geography in terms of its placement in its to Yokohama station is very good, I think, in some ways. Anyhow, let's move in closer and have a look. You can see here is the JR Negishi station right there, and JR Isogo station, and it's really neither closer to either. It's sort of placed in the hinterland between both, and in some ways that's why it's priced like that, because most of these houses in this area, when we look at the geography of this, are going to be using the car system likely more than they would be using the train system. Okay, and the lack of this house's lack of parking is speaking to how it doesn't connect well with its particular geography and the modern system of Japan right now. However, let's move in closer and have a look. So we know that it's going to be a captured house, and certainly it is. This is the closest I can get to it. The house is sitting right there in the middle of this. I can see why it said it says it's a forested area, but it's but really, or a mountain. But you can see really what it's sitting on when we come back here to the master sort of picture. This here is sitting on the top of an escarpment, with this being sea level here at the bottom. Okay, so we'll move in closer. We'll come in here to the map picture, and that's going to indicate. You can see here when we take the Google Maps, Golden Guy, and land here on the street. Okay, this is, we can see that the house is going to be behind here, and it's very inconvenient in many ways too. In order to access this house, you need to go up these stairs and stuff like that. Like I said, it's on an escarpment. Okay, these other houses, for example, here, they all have parking. There's parking. There's a parking lot right there with a newer build. However, there's a newer build here, so it shows you that this land is definitely sort of in demand. And if you're a person in your 20s, for example, and you have your muscularity, I'm 55 years old. This doesn't really suit me right now, because over the next 30 years of my life, for example, I have to make some choices that I might be facing because of my I'm feeling really good right now, but maybe something will happen and I am facing choices with my mobility. However, if you're 20 years old and maybe this doesn't present a problem, maybe this is just part of your exercise routine every day. So we're all at different stages of our lifetime, but we know that in order to get to this house after coming up this hill, you're going to have to come up this road right here. However, we can see that here's a house built in the 1990s. There was a house built in the 2000s. Yeah, I'm for sure if we go up this escarpment any further, there's going to be like a even newer build at one point anyway. Here a house likely built in the end of the 1990s. One here built in the 2000s. So we know by the way, there's propane gas there. So some of these houses aren't on Toshi gas, perhaps. I don't know. It's tough to see. Here's a Mercedes-Benz in front of this house, but this looks to be a parking business. So maybe some other people who own or live in these clustered homes are renting these parking spots, for example, as well. Anyhow, there's some other stairways that are going to go back here into the back, into that middle of the cluster. Anyway, it's interesting to look at that. Anyhow, we have a bargain house. We could say a bargain house. We could also say garbage house. It depends on your the aspect of how you want to look at it. For me, 55 years old, feeling really good right now. But in the next, if I'm lucky to make it 40 more years, with my mobility, there could be mobility problems. This is out for me. But if you're a younger person, maybe this works for you. If you were to is this going to work, or is it better for me to open it in a new tab? For a younger person, for example, if you could get financing for a house like this. I don't know if a bank is going to offer financing for a house like this. It might, though. It very well might. But your mortgage payment every month would be $140 Canadian or $150 Canadian every month. Let's say that you put a Tomakin here of 100 mon down, which is basically $10,000 Canadian. Okay, is that gonna calculate? Does that calculate it? Did that pick it all up? Yeah, it did. And then your payments basically every month are going to be $100 Canadian every month. Your drag on it, for example, would be roughly, what is this, 2,000 yen a month, or $20 in interest every month. So in some ways, for a young person living in Japan, if you can qualify for this mortgage, it makes a lot of sense for you to buy this house. We have two garbage samples, or two bargain samples that might fit someone, but let's have a look at something in the marketplace here that would fit more of a Japanese family and what they want. And this is the last sample here in the marketplace that we're looking at right here. And this again is a pretty good deal. Okay, this one is for 1,880 man, $180,000 for a house in this is in Yokohama, Yokohama-shi. You see here Minami-ku, which is means southern ward. Okay, and this is Ooku Ichome. Okay, and let's have a look at some of these pictures right there. Again, we're looking at this is something more standard. 55-year-old man. Okay, I'm financially established. I'm totally fine. This is something. I'm not really looking to buy something in Yokohama. However, I would not necessarily say that though either. Like, I am looking to buy a house in the Kanto region right now, and this might suit me. Although I like the one on the video I did yesterday of that country home in Wikamachi for 980 mon, 980 mon. That's more what I'm looking for though too, right? And that one's in Niigata. But let's expand these pictures. Right here, this is by the way, we see a house here, a new build right here, or not a new build, but something built about 10 years ago. This is a house in question. Looks to be built in the 1980s, if I remember correctly. I think that's what it was. Updated. I think this one's going to move. Updated, and you know, it's got carpet, some old carpet, but you know what? I like carpet in a house on the second floor, and this is a very nice house. Looks to be pretty well maintained. We don't have much in the way of pictures for this listing, and that tells you a little bit about it. Here is the madore, or the layout. We have the first floor right there, a Japanese room, a dining, a kitchen, bathrooms and stuff like this. So there's bathroom here on the first floor. I don't think there's a bathroom on the second floor. Could you turn this closet into a toilet on the second floor? Maybe you could. I think the newer houses might have a bathroom on the second floor, for example. This is the house again, and there's not much in the way of pictures, and that is indicating something as well, and that's indicating that this is a really good deal, and they really don't have to put too much more pictures than that in there. This is getting close to junk in a way, but it does have parking. You can see right there, by the way, it does have a garage right there, which is sort of important. Come down here to the detailed listings, or the details of the listing right here. And we can see here 15 minutes from the station, but this does have parking. So that offers a lot. And don't forget, Nakamura talked about it about 6 months ago when we did that showing in Yokohama. That houses with parking in Yokohama right now, there is a real deficit. 18 minutes from either station. Okay, that's on the blue line, by the way, which is the Yokohama subway line. Again, the price 1,880 man. Okay, and it says it had everything in this house is going to work, and it's on Toshi gas. It's not on the propane. We looked at that one house up the escarpment on the other place that we looked at right there, and there was propane. So some places, I guess where the geography gets limited in Japan, it's on propane. But again, that's a commercial business in Japan, supplying propane tanks to cars. That's just normal stuff. Built, I was right, built 1984, 72 meters of land, efficiently used because there's 71 meters of space here in the building. You can see there Chushajo Ari, which means Ari means have. Okay, arimasu ka? Ari means have. So arigato is the same kanji, by the way. Ari, yes. Shoyu ken. That means it's ownership right there. Shoyu. This means ownership. Ken. That means kenri. Okay, which means the right of ownership, and that's what shoyu ken means. Okay, and yeah, it's in Jutaku Shichi, so this is all zoned sort of for residential, and currently vacant. It's a vacant house. Who knows? We can extrapolate. The parents lived in this house. The kids moved away. Now the parents might be in the Kaigo home or the long-term care, and people are just, maybe the kids are selling it. Total extrapolation. I don't know. I'm just imagining. Okay, let's come up here and look at the details in the map. We see its location. That's Sakuragicho right there. We see that that is 1 kilometer right there. So let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kilometers. The way the crow flies, okay, but you can see that road is going up there along there anyway. About 5 kilometers from Sakuragicho station in central Yokohama. Very well priced. The house might be junk, however the land is not junk. So and that's why that one place down here where the land is junk and it didn't access the car system is junk geography, bargain price, or garbage, or bargain, depending how you want to look at it. But this is a stronger sample in the market, and that's why the pricing is choosing this. Anyway, let's move in closer. We can see if I back out a little bit further, you can see its proximity, because I talked about it earlier, to Yokosuka. That's Isogo Station. This is the Negishi line, or the Keihin Tohoku line. Negishi Station is here. That's Isogo Station. Very well placed, though. You can see there's the blue line right there, which is the Yokohama subway line. Anyhow, let's move in closer and we can get into it and look at it from the map in terms of the neighborhood right there. This is a good deal. This is something you want to get involved in. This is good. I'm already established in Tokyo. I don't need this. That's why that place in Wikamachi is more attractive to me because I'm also from Niigata. Let's drop you in right here, or drop us in right here. And oh, there's that new build right there. And beside it right there too, a new build. So there's enough demand in this neighborhood right now for people to tear down these old houses, okay, and rebuild. So what does that mean? That means that you are always going to have options when you buy this house. When you look at those two other garbage samples or bargain samples, depending on how you want to look at them, okay, your optionality is less. And that's what the price is indicating, because people will always tear that down, buy the land, and build the newer house. And Japanese families generally want to do that. However, let's imagine that this family just wants to sell this house right now. You can see a couple of political posters on there. A lot of younger families, for example, wouldn't put political posters on there. So I was speculating that it might be someone older that was living in this house. Look there, though, on the second floor balcony, very well covered for doing your laundry and stuff like that. And I'm guessing that this is going to be a this might be a southeastern exposure, so very good light for drying your laundry. And That's not an issue in North America. People use their dryers here, but in Japan we don't really use dryers. I would only use the dryer for the last 5 minutes. Anyhow, this is the house right there, and you can see there's a K. You see the yellow plate. It's a K car. You might, although I think you could fit a full-size car into there. I think you could, but you just have to measure the roof. Anyhow, that's the house right there, and you can see that there's a house right beside it, about the same sort of vintage of the house. Other things to look at here. Did we cover everything here in the house? Yeah, built in 1984. I just wanted to look around this neighborhood one more time to see if there was an absolute like brand new like 2020 sort of build in this neighborhood right there. And I'm imagining there probably is. We're going to stumble. We see all the 2000 builds even when we get into the small towns of Niigata. But we can see here, like on this street right here, it's a really good one to look at. In that there's a new build here, a new build here, a new build here, and a medium build, probably like 1990 sort of build here too, which is a really important thing. We know the population of Tokyo and Yokohama is going up, right? And it's continuing. It should keep going up, I think, into the 2050s. And when you see rotation, you see that there's demand at different points for people to want to be in neighborhoods like this. Anyway, good video make here today. We had 3 samples in the video. We had this one, which is more of a sort of standard Japanese. This is probably priced, actually, when we come back here to like the master map. We could end on that note here as well. When we come back here to the master map, okay, and what At Home is giving us though is it's showing that this is the area that the house is. I think it was this one right here, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, this was an even cheaper one. Okay, where was that one? It's somewhere. I'd lost the actual placement of it, but it's like in the sort of region. But we can see as well, like when we come here to the red pill ones in this sort of area, we can see that there's stuff here selling for ichi oku yen, or 9,480 man. Okay, so there's enough demand. When we look at this sort of the samples that I was giving you today, I think this was the house right here, by the way. Was that the one? Oh, there was a different one, but you can see the samples that I was sort of looking at, giving you in the marketplace, are the ones on the bottom. Okay, but when we look, let's push the screen when we're probably going to get to about 5,000 or 4,000 month. Okay, that's a good one to click open, even to end it on that one. Okay, when we come here, we can see that this one, this is more of a standard, newer sort of property right here, right there, and this one is going for 3,600. It looks to be about 15 years old. Let's have a look here though. Okay, so any of the stuff that I chose here to see 2003, I was right, 20 years old. So it's not brand new, okay, but this market segment price of 3,600 or 3,700 mon, okay, in this area, that is for something a little newer. That's what you're looking at. So even the ones that I chose here that we looked at today were definitely in some ways bargain. We had a bargain, and then we had bargain, or garbage, depending on how you want to look at it. Okay, anyway, another video here from the Tokyo Real Estate Man, coming to you from southern Yokohama and Yokosuka. You're interested in a house here in Japan, I invite people, because I'm going to build this Instagram up right now. My Instagram, I'm going to build this Instagram up for Tokyo Real in Japan real estate. Okay, so I invite people, if you're following this channel, please follow my Instagram. Help me out. If you don't want to buy a house, that's fine. Follow the social media. Another way of getting a hold of you can always DM me there if you like. Another way of getting a hold of me is here on my website, Tokyo Real Estate Man website. There's a couple of ways you can get a hold of me. You can get a hold of me directly through mail right there. There's my direct email address there that goes to my Yahoo, and there's a contact box. You can fill that in with your details if you like. Another video here from the Tokyo Real Estate Man. いつもこのチャンネルを見てるの皆様本当にありがとうございます。今日の動画もう終わり